Hello and welcome to If I Was President. I'm your host, retired United States Navy Senior Chief D. LaMonica. Please don't forget to the usual, like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. If you don't like the video, just give me a thumbs down. Explain to me down below so I can get back with you on the subject. This channel, If I Was President, is predicated on if I was a presidential candidate that was actually for the people. I'm not a billionaire or a millionaire. I'm just your average, I would say above average, United States citizen who's running for president and looking to restore faith back into a government I believe has gone astray. You may ask, how has the government gone astray? Well, if you haven't viewed my first two videos or kept up with current events, you're a little behind, so you have to do some catching up. Plus, I have many more videos on the way about how has this government gone astray. Now, if I was president, I would unshackle the United States from the influence of that small country in the Middle East. You know who I'm talking about. I don't even have to say the name, and you know who I'm talking about. I've been to that country multiple times while I was on active duty. My ship pulled into Haifa multiple times while we participated in the missile defense of this country, who we protect valiantly. If you do travel there, I recommend a restaurant called Meat. I had just about everything on the menu and it was great. Plus the prices are outstanding, way better than the United States. But back to what we was talking about. I even participated in one of the best tours I had while I was in that little small country in the Middle East when I was active duty Navy. The tour guide gave us a complete history of the formation of that little small country in the Middle East, which I found very fascinating. I give that little small country in the Middle East their respect when it comes to protecting their country because there's no one better. But you have to ask the question, of all the places to place a group of people, why not find some place in Europe with other Europeans? No, someone had the bright idea of placing this group of Europeans in the middle of Muslim-controlled land. In my opinion, that was one of the dumbest moves in history. Far away from Europe. I wonder why. History shows why. You can go research that on your own. With all the different countries and land divided in Europe at that time, you'd think the Europeans would have given them a slice of land somewhere, but they didn't. They chose the Middle East. Who actually thought this was going to work should be dug up, tarred, feathered, and buried again. You may ask, why must we break free from this small country? This country is a financial burden and military burden on the American people. Our government has been compromised by this small country in the Middle East. If you follow this Instagrammer named Ian Carroll, who used to go by the name Cancerless Clothing Company, he lists all the members of Congress who are beneficiaries of donations from AIPAC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. I have some listed in the slide, and there are a lot more. It's all posted online for public view on who donates to the people you and I vote for. These lobbyists donate to congressional members to always vote pro-small country in the Middle East. And these congressional members do as the money tells them to do, even if it means taking away our rights. Freedom of speech, not when it comes to this little small country in the Middle East. It's freedom of speech. Just watch what you say about this little small country in the Middle East. For those Americans who are out of touch with the modern world, there are already laws enacted that prohibits you from speaking ill towards this small country in the Middle East. Is that what you, the American people, wanted? Your bought, I should say our bought and paid for elected officials by AIPAC voted to take away our right of freedom of speech against this little small country in the Middle East. These United States elected officials are charged with being the voice for the people they serve. That's the purpose of Congress, correct? Did any of you Americans out there want your basic liberty of freedom of speech and protest taken away from you? because our bought and paid for elected officials just did it right in front of us. And because they are our elected officials, did we, the people of the United States, just bow down to another country's will, meaning that little small country in the Middle East? Americans have laid down and allowed another country to dictate its laws. Tell me that's not the case. That is the case. But if I was president, all monetary funding to this country would be stopped completely, where it would be directed towards the American people, where it should be. Low-cost universal health care system like they have, infrastructure rebuild, and a revamping of our education system for a better future for us, our children, and the nation as a whole, to build productive citizens. We will withdraw all our military and all military aid to this country, saving us billions of dollars. I will discuss lobbyists in a future video, but they will be banned from entering Congress or having any dealings with Congress, so your elected officials can get back to what the Constitution says, for your elected officials to represent you and us, the American people. And I say, if they are truly God's chosen people, well, God will protect them. I'm sure He will. Let us get back to providing for us Americans and getting back the freedoms our elected officials just casually gave away for $1 donation, and allegiance to this small country in the Middle East, and not to us, the American people, who they serve. Drastic measures have to be taken to save this country and the freedoms we hold true. The January 6 rioters I can respect to some degree, but they went about it the wrong way. But to get a government that serves the people, drastic changes need to happen. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I welcome your comments, good or bad. If you were president, what would you do about this situation? Trust me, I would be the most unpopular candidate with our elected officials because they are bought and paid for by that small country in the Middle East. You know it and I know it. It's on the internet for all to see. Remember, if you support the troops, just don't support the troops. Be like the troops. If you are like the troops, the world will be a better place. And let me remind you of the USS Liberty. If you don't know about the USS Liberty, go look up the USS Liberty and see who attacked that United States Navy ship and killed sailors. And you will see why we need to distance ourselves from that little small country in the Middle East. Senior Chief out. If I was president, I get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday.